Do not collect games to make a profit, because you won't. Hi, I'm your host Tony, and this is H4G Gaiden, our sideshow where we talk about gaming news, topics, and pretty much whatever is on our minds on a given week. Now, I recently got a great question on Twitter for a H4G Gaiden topic, and I was asked the best economic way to collect cheap while maximizing potential profit. Now, I think that since retro games are expensive as hell, lots of people are looking at a way to make money on retro games. And I think this would have been a great conversation for the year 2007 or earlier. So let's go ahead and apply the most basic stock market principle: buy low, sell high. And when you apply that, you realize getting into retro games for money right now probably doesn't make the most sense in terms of collecting. Now, I do think that there's a way to collect smart and cheap, but not really with retro games anymore, at least what we consider retro right now. When you think about it, thrift stores are getting looted upon their opening. Garage sales that advertise having games, like for example if they post on Craigslist first, are being bought up time and time again a half hour before they even open in the morning. So the only way to really come across retro games on the cheap is either like from a family member or a friend donating it to you, or just plain luck. So since you can't get the games on the cheap, let's say you pay full price and wait for said game to go up in value. You're probably going to be waiting a while. Or, even more likely, as emulation systems like the RetroPie or the Nintendo Classic Series hit the market, more and more people are just going to rely on these devices for a realistic retro emulation experience, meaning the demand for those retro games, like the actual cartridges, will be going down, right? So demand goes down, price goes down. Every market has a bubble. Now, I have no idea whether the retro gaming bubble is about to burst or not, but I've definitely heard speculation that it might. Let me give you a cautionary tale about trying to make profit on retro games. Back in 2014, I was desperate. I had come off my second hip surgery caused by my martial arts career. The job I had did not pay very much. I had private insurance at the time versus group insurance, and my surgery was very expensive. Now, every month, we'd get a new medical bill in the mail, and it'd be a deep, deep stab into our savings account. Our savings account being myself and my wife's joint account. So I needed a side hustle. So I spent the whole summer getting up really early on weekends and going out to garage sale after garage sale buying up retro games. I had boxes and boxes of games by the end of the summer. And by the way, I've rarely seen retro games at garage sales since. But anyways, I created a website to sell these games, and I went the website route because my calculations showed that if I sold them on eBay, I would basically be losing most of my profit. And some of you might remember the site, Twitter account, and Facebook page that I made. It was called Game Trove. My wife even did the graphic design, and everything looked pretty good. But how did it turn out? Well, I made one sale. One single sale. Realizing that I had all of this stock, not a great way to market my website without spending more money, and eBay not being an option, I decided to trade everything in at RetroTaku Video Games for a PC Engine Duo system. That's basically the PC Engine with like the CD add-on built into it, which was pretty damn cool. Yeah, you know, I might have been able to sell all of those games on Craigslist, but by the time I would have gotten around to selling everything through that method, the effort would not have been worth the profit. And that's when things were even cheaper. Keep in mind, I was able to get these games with 2014 money and 2014 value, right? Or at least the game's value at like a garage sale or something like that. So for comparison, I bought a Nintendo 64 disk drive in 2008 for $200 and sold it for about $450 in 2014. Actually, I was able to sell it to a fan of the show. And again, I made this decision because I was desperate and I needed to pay for medical expenses. So again, this question would have been better suited for almost a decade ago. I bought something in 2008 and was able to sell it years later because in 2008 it wasn't nearly as valuable and the video game retro craze wasn't nearly as crazy. So how can you maximize potential profit now? Firstly, I'd recommend just buy games to enjoy them. But if this is something that's been on your mind, I'd say gamble with PS3 and Xbox 360 games. They are cheap as hell now. Go to GameStop, buy up the ones that you like, the ones that you will actually play and enjoy, that are under $5. They will likely become retro one day, 10 years from now, and be worth much more, but keep in mind it's a waiting game, right? If I would have said the same thing in the late 90s about SNES titles, nobody would have bothered because the SNES would have been too recent, and you would have had to have waited too long to get your profit, right? So again, it's just all about waiting. When is it going to become retro? Buy low, sell high. You have to be patient. So, hopefully that answers that question that I received on Twitter. I know it was kind of a roundabout way to answer it, and probably not exactly what the person posting it wanted, but that is kind of my opinion / cautionary tale on the matter. So, that said, I do appreciate everyone listening. Be sure to like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and if you're looking for additional ways to support the show, please check out our new Patreon rewards, or buy yourself a little Christmas goodie on our Spreadshirt store. It definitely does help the show. Links to those two websites are below, and aside from that, thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a share, and we will see you guys next time.